10 effective closing requirements to increase sales. Before you do anything, you have to do something else first. Tracy. Before you ask the customer to make a buying decision, there are a series of bases you must touch. Any attempt to bring the sales process to a conclusion with even one of these elements missing can cost you the sale. Learn how to increase your sales with these 10 effective closing requirements. Is your product or service desirable? First, your customer must want what you're selling. The customer's buying desire must be aroused sufficiently before you can ask him or her to make a buying decision. The customer must have told you clearly that he likes what you've shown him, and he must have expressed a desire to enjoy the benefits of your offer. If you attempt to get a decision from him prior to this point, you may turn him off and kill the sale. Second, the customer must believe in your company and yourself. The customer must trust you and be convinced that you and your company have the capability to deliver on your promises. In your presentation, you must have made it perfectly clear to the customer that you are a sound and reliable organization to deal with in order for them to truly believe in your company. Third, in order to help with the buyer decision process, the customer must need what you're selling. It must be obvious to both you and him that the product will help him solve his problem or achieve his goal in a cost-effective way. Top salespeople will refuse to accept a sales order from a customer if they are not convinced that this is what the customer genuinely needs, even if the customer wants it and has expressed an interest in buying it. Fourth, the customer must be able to use the product. Top salespeople will not sell someone a product that the customer is not capable of using to its best advantage. They won't sell a computer or computer software to a person who is not computer literate. They won't sell advanced sports equipment to an amateur. They won't sell complex machinery to a small operation. Top salespeople always take time to make sure the customer can get the very maximum value out of what they're selling. Fifth, the customer must be able to afford it. The customer must not only have the money, but be willing to part with it. The customer must have sufficient funds to be able to buy the product without ending up strapped for cash. Sixth, the customer must completely understand the full nature and scope of the offer. The customer must be clear about what he is getting and why and how to use it. The customer must understand the obligations he's entering into and the ramifications and consequences of the purchase. The salesperson must patiently walk the customer through these steps so that the customer already knows what he or she is getting into with the purchase. Seventh, in order to increase sales, the salesperson must be eager to make each and every sale. He must be positive and confident about the benefits that the prospect will enjoy and must be determined to help the prospect enjoy them. Eighth, the salesperson must have sound closing skills. The only way you learn anything is by practicing, over and over, and this includes closing skills. One of the best things you can do is to write out your closing arguments and questions on paper and then practice them in front of a mirror. You should try your closing techniques with your children or your spouse. You should use them in your personal and business life. If you remember that a closing technique is simply a way of helping a person make a decision, you will actually find it enjoyable and fun to practice different methods. In order to learn how to increase your sales, you must be prepared to hear a no and continue selling. You must be willing to ask for the order and be put off, either with an objection or delay to another time in order to affect the buyer decision process. Finally, the salesperson must be prepared to remain silent after asking the closing question. The very best salespeople are masters in the use of silence during the selling conversation. Not only are they extremely good at listening to the customer and absorbing what he or she is really saying, but they're also skilled at remaining perfectly quiet after they have asked a key question of any kind. The longer the silence goes on after you've asked a closing question, the more likely it is that the prospect will buy. But the person who speaks first usually loses during the buyer decision process. If you break the silence out of nervousness, the customer will sense an opportunity to procrastinate on the buying decision or come up with another objection that cannot be answered at this meeting. It takes tremendous discipline to sit quietly while the prospect mulls over your question, but it pays off in the end. Now, we'd love to hear from you. So our question today is, what closing requirement do you need the most help with? Leave a comment below and we'll be sure to follow up. Thanks for watching, and as Brian says, if you want to change your future, take action, and take action now.
If you enjoyed this video and feel it was valuable, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share this video with your friends. Don't forget to click the button on the screen for a free gift. Thanks again for watching.